I'm going to do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. We're live. On est en ligne.
Good morning.
Bonjour. Hey, Matt. So now I'm not muted. Donc là, je ne suis pas encore mis sur silencieux. So we're here tonight to talk about truth and lies of bodies.
Yeah.
So what is it? What are you talking about?
Well, see, we're talking about the truths and lies of bodies in regards to touch. It's really a big subject. And the reason it's such a big subject is because it's made how important and how significant in the world. Entire lives and futures of people are created on a planetary scale by whether or not they're going to have someone who will touch them that they don't have to be aware of, let's say, if they'll be there in the future. Does that make sense? Right?
No. What is
it's
it?
True.
What are you talking about?
Well, the significance of touch. Let's take a really theoretical position on this. Okay? So let's pretend bodies don't require to be touched. Well, it's not true. Bodies actually require touch. But if bodies didn't require touch, the reason I asked that question is, would your life be creating itself differently? Yeah. So lives end up being created differently by the significance or insignificance of touch. And it's such a big planetary conclusion that everyone has to have touch, and this is how I'm going to create my life as a fundamental priority, that most people are never even going to look at it. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I do have some questions to ask you all so you can know what you know. So, do you, as a being, need to touch things? Let's imagine you're dead, you don't have a body, everybody's going to die eventually. Do you need to touch things anymore? Not so much, right? Yeah. Does your body require touch? Yeah. Sometimes, unfortunately, it has to touch things. And I joke with that. That's a joke. You know, bodies have this requirement to touch. And what I want to talk about is, what is that? How does it work? And then hopefully it might inspire you to ask greater questions about how you can use this to create your life differently. So if you take your hands and gently just bring them together and allow your fingertips to touch with the lightest of touch. I mean, almost, there you go, barely touching. Now, can you actually sense the energy and electricity starting to move between your fingertips? Yeah. Now, if you bring them apart, let's say an inch or a few centimeters, what are you aware of then? And now bring them apart 6 inches or whatever that's equivalent is in metric, which I don't know because I wasn't very good at math class. Okay, but are you still aware of the other hand? Now bring them out as far as they can. Now, is there a difference? Do you sense just your body touching itself as you bring your hands back together? That's an energetic communion. Yeah, and now go all the way and touch them together again. Okay, so bodies often require this so they can move, change, create energy. This is the significance of touch. It's really not about thoughts, feelings, emotions, love, relationship, or any of that stuff. But that often, how often is that what you're creating in your life so that you can have this requirement that your body needs? Really often or not so often? Yeah. So that significance, if it wasn't significant, how different differently would you be creating your future? Really differently or not so much? It's almost like a beyond, Steve, when you say, oh my God, if touch wasn't important, I don't even know. And people are just like, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's because that's a barrier, a boundary, a decision, or a conclusion that you've made that you've never actually stepped through, gone around, or gone beyond. So everything that doesn't allow you to go beyond all your points of view around touch so you can acknowledge what your body truly needs here to contribute back to you as a being, can we destroy and uncreate all that? Good, bad, right or wrong, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, we're doing a live translation to France, which is really fun because, you know, France is a very different culture, just as every culture on the planet has its own significance around touch, not touch, and so forth. So I'm heading over there soon for some classes and very aware of the energies of difference, of uniqueness, of intensity in a different way than it is in the United States. So that's really cool. You know, are people desperately standing in dark corners waiting to touch someone, or is it something else? So do we have any questions for anybody on the local Zoom or in France around significance in touch, or what this conversation has brought up? And if you do want to chat, you can put it in the chat box because we are on Zoom, or you can come off mic and speak your question too. And while we're waiting, acknowledge the difference it makes just if you take your hand and put it somewhere on your body. Perhaps it's your face. Perhaps it's your thigh or your leg. So my body just immediately started to breathe, like take a deep breath, which is always like a sign of your body saying, you just created more space for me by actually creating this electrical transmission, this energetic transfusion of energy moving through my body. Okay. So you see in my example, and see if it's true for you, I didn't actually require another body to do that. Although I'm sure it could be really fun, right? To touch other bodies. So everything, okay, now we're going to talk about the lies and the truths here, because all the lies that we have to buy in to not know what's true for our bodies, to make sure that we get touch, can we destroy and uncreate all that is times a godzillion. Good, bad, right or wrong, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So all the lies that you're buying, it's just changed. All the lies that you're buying to create the truths about what your body requires that are actually lies, can we destroy and uncreate everything that comes up around that now, please? Good, bad, right or wrong, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Let me run that again, because this is a good example of how the clearings work, which are from Access Consciousness, from Gary Douglas. Kindest man I ever met in my entire life. Kindest man. Amazing. And just being around him and acknowledging the change he desires to see if the world can have has really been an inspiration for me to do everything I'm choosing in my life, for me to have a better life, and be that energy for others to say, hey, would you like to have this for yourself also? Little shameless plug there for Access. So that clearing statement, once again, how it works is it goes out beyond the energy, beyond your mind. How often are you trying to think about touching, think about relating, think about creating? Okay. So it's like we have this little small calculator called our brain that we keep on top of our body. But the problem is with a calculator is it only calculates numbers. So if letters show up, if energies show up, it's just like, no, we don't do letters and energy. Sorry, just choose them away. So the clearings go to all the energies that are beyond your mind, that are locked in place around a certain subject, that are keeping you from receiving the change that you desire. So here's the clearing. Anybody that's new, I love getting these out here because it changes so much stuff for you. So what lies are you using to create the truths that you're choosing around the significance of touch? And everything that comes up around that, will you destroy and uncreate times a godzillion? Good, bad, right or wrong, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. What lies are you using creating the truths that you're choosing around the significance of touch? And everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate times godzillion? Good, bad, right or wrong, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So if you notice any energy in your body or around your body or in your awareness starts to get wiggy, starts to go, and you can't think, that's actually the clearing in action. It's actually changing the energies in your reality that don't allow you to have something different. Now, a big thing around significance is it's often turns out to be the opposite of what it appears to be. Because anytime you make something significant, like touch in this, particular class, you have to refuse all your awareness around anything that doesn't fit the definition of what's significant. So I have to have touch is a very narrow significance. Now, you have to refuse everything else that's possible if you decide that, okay? So I was talking about the importance of touch. Would you actually be able to know what's truly important and required for your body if you'd already decided that touch was an absolute requirement? You wouldn't be able to know. It'd be like putting on blinders, kind of like this. I know it looks really attractive, but this is how you'd look. You'd be like, oh, hi. Oh, where'd everybody go? See, I'm not aware of you guys anymore because I've got my significance point of view on I have to have touch in a particular fashion. But without it, now I'm aware of you and all the other possibilities. So everything that doesn't allow you to know what you know with total ease, joy, and glory around significance and insignificance, can we destroy and uncreate everything that brings up? Good, bad, right or wrong, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, do we have dogs watching television at this point in France, or how's it look, Steve? Like,
okay, you make me laugh. Tu me fais rire. So the question was, I was having a kind of a silly question when I was announcing this FB Live. Donc j'avais une sorte de question un peu idiote. J'étais un peu en train de blaguer et en même temps pas vraiment. Quand j'ai annoncé ce Facebook Live, it was about when we eat, are we touching our bodies with the food we are eating?
Oh, that is a great question.
Okay, I'm translating myself just for a second. Donc j'ai demandé en fait en blaguant quand on mange.
Yeah, it's a great question. So we started the Zoom talking about your body touching another body, but what's different about your body touching other foods? Well, let's use these same sets of tools that we have and look at it from a very pragmatic point of view. When you put food in your mouth, does your body receive energy from it? I mean, even before you swallow it, is there an energetic communion between the food in your mouth before it's even absorbed, molecularly? Yeah.
Yes.
See more food. Exactly. Oops, I forgot. I'm not a little Mexican boy today. I keep having this flashback of being this terribly wrong little Mexican man. And I'm like, where is that coming from? But anyway, that's by and by. So the next question you want to ask is, well, if I didn't have any points of view about touch, why wouldn't I receive the same amount of energetic contribution from eating than I would from eating someone else? Eating food or eating someone else? I know that's kind of far-fetched, but do you see how one's really significant and one's not so significant? Right?
That's outrageous. You can't eat somebody else.
Well, I don't mean like this, that would not be good. You probably would end up in jail. But if you were to receive someone else's energy or receive the energy from food, what points of view are you using to not allow yourself to have everything that possibility can be with food? What if, eating breakfast was far more nurturing to you than getting naked with your significant other? And how many times has that already happened for you somewhere where you had a bowl of oatmeal with strawberries on it and you're like, oh my God. Blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, wow, I wonder what it'd be like if that was how it was with my partner. And you're like, oh, that's not happening. How come? It's like a bowl of dirt when I'm with my partner. What? When it should be like a bowl of luscious food. So everything that brings up, can we destroy and uncreate? Good, bad, right, or wrong. Pocket pot all night shorts, boys and beyonds. Well, if this doesn't stir the pot, I don't know what will. But
I think it's about disappearing. I was getting this energy when you were talking. J'avais cette énergie quand tu parlais, comme si c'était à propos de disparaître. Like communing, are we losing ourselves along the way? La communion, est-ce qu'on est en train de se perdre nous-mêmes sur la route? Like I'm eating something, I'm absorbing it, I'm communing with it, and it transforms itself, and it's transforming also my body.
Sure. Yeah, well, would you allow yourself to lose all of the definition of you from a bowl of breakfast food? Would you allow it to change your whole reality and lose the significance of you? And it's not a right or wrong question. If you are allowing of that, right? If you're allowing of that, what happens for you then? Do you all of a sudden turn into something you haven't been before? Instead of trying to be the same person over and over to please everyone else around you. And I mean, if that's fun for you, that's great. But I'm kind of like, if I don't have a lot of change in my life going on, I can't be the change that everyone else requires either. And it's just not fun for me. So you got to get clear. Do I enjoy continually making the person I am significant, or would I like to be a continually changing person that has no significance? Had to clear my throat there. I think I may have some sort of ghost in my throat or something. Anyway, So everything that brings up for you folks, that doesn't allow you to be true to you and allow you to be like this morphic, shifting, massive energy and still have a body, instead of being a solidified, significant, unhappy, miserable person, can we destroy and uncreate everything that brings up? Good, bad, right or wrong, pocket pot, all nine shorts, boys of beyonds. Because truth, if you could choose anything, would you be choosing the life you're choosing now? Or would you be like coming from that childlike curiosity and going, oh, what else is possible? I'm tired of playing with this beach ball. It's been fun. It's the right size. It's round. It's got cool colors. And now I'm bored of it. And I'm sure somebody else will like it. I'm not worried about that. And are you willing to just say what else is possible and allow that situation that was really fun for you to just be a building block for something else that as you move along your life? And if anybody's got questions, I'd love to hear them on the local Zoom or from our French Zoom. I know we've got Gabrielle and Andrea. Thank you very much for watching today. We're ever so grateful to have some people on. New Zealand. And Andrea, where are you from, dear? I'm going to try to read your lips, but I'm going to unmute you so you can tell me. Okay. London. Awesome. Okay. Hello, London. Hello, New Zealand. Christchurch, I believe. Nice. No. Oh, my other favorite. Nelson. Way up on the north end of the South Island, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Spent some time there. It's lovely.
It is lovely.
Awesome. So, Steve, did I see you had another question that was popping up there for a second?
I'm laughing at what Gabrielle was writing in the chat. Like, prendre le petit déjeuner pendant que votre partenaire est assis sur vous.
Sure.
That's cute, kind of.
Sure. Well, that's a great, eating breakfast while your partner's sitting on you. Well, that could be really hard because I don't know what to say. I'm just not going to say anything about that right now, but it sounds like it's some good quality, soil, fertile soil for some other conversation to grow in. And then Andrea said, I know someone who said that he has to touch, and without it, life's not worth living. Well, that speaks to the exact same energy that everyone's talking about here. If you have that point of view that you have to have touch or you want to die, then that's really what your life is going to be. The universe so takes you literally when you ask for things. So in that situation, it means you have to start dying if you don't get touch. And every person you come to will feel your need of death when they approach you desiring to touch you. And I mean, boy, if that isn't creepy, if you're a girl, I don't know what to call it. So if we were to turn that into a question, it'd be like, if you were truly willing to be in question with your body, what would you be asking it? Have you ever sat down with your body and kind of just put yourself beside yourself and just said, hey, let's have a chat. Tell me what you need and what would be fun. And show me the things, the places, and the people that you require to touch, to interact with, or to play with. It's a pretty wide subject of possibilities. But if you're willing to ask those questions, there's a possibility for different awarenesses to show up in your world that you may not have ever known. So, and then back to Gab, eating breakfast while your partner is sitting on you. There is so many ways to touch people. I think it's amazing that someone can show up with a different idea about how people could touch anytime. And what if you were to ask your body, how would you like to touch? Or like Steve brought up earlier in the conversation, what if it's about eating? Have you ever leaned up against a wall and realized that was touch also? And the wall started to contribute to you. It's the chair under your bum. Does it contribute to you? If you were to ask the chair for it to contribute to you through touch, because it's holding your butt up right now, would it do it? Yeah.
That's a very molecular approach of living.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a very molecular approach to living. Yeah. What if, just being in this it's almost space of inquiry with the molecules of, let's say, the table that you have in front of you, or the seat below you, or the air molecules around you. Do you think this air molecule and this air molecule are like, oh, we will get together and we will only touch each other forever. We will separate ourselves from the rest of the atmosphere and be happy forever. It doesn't work that way. So if you'd be willing to acknowledge how much you could touch the world by knowing what's true for you about your body, by choosing what's true for you that your body's telling you and receiving it, how different would your future be? Andrea says, I think many people are afraid of touching themselves and discovering their bodies and what they love about themselves. When I treat people, they suddenly realize they have a body, or their body is kind of separated in half. Yeah, there's so many lies and truths we talk about that show up in our bodies, especially if you're a body worker in some modality, that you start to realize all the lies and truths. And as a an avid body worker, I can't tell you how many things come up when I do a bodywork session, as I've done over the years, that literally changes the way the molecules in their body are talking to each other or playing with each other. So if you're willing to bring these tools of question on what are you making significant about touch, and then expand it out, expand beyond your skin. Because making it all about your bodies means you have to make your infinite being insignificant. You can use this significance question in any direction. So everything that you're doing to make your body so significant that you don't have the contribution of your infinite being, can we destroy and uncreate all that? Good, bad, right or wrong, POC and POD, all night, shorts, boys, meows. Well, who else has got questions? I'm ready for some juicy questions. They go pop. Like if I was eating breakfast and all I had was strawberries, I'd want to know about bananas. I'm still learning to make jokes translatable to different languages, but I'm getting there.
That was fine. I've been a vegan with lots of fruits for years, so maybe I'm connected to you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your fruitiness. Well, good. Well, if nobody else has any questions, we're going to call this Facebook Live a wrap. We will offer a replay. We'd love to hear from you all and get your comments. I'll repost the English one shortly too. So until next time.
Okay. Hey, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry, I'm such a control freak.
Yes, you are a control freak. Oui, je lui dis, attends une seconde, là, pars pas comme ça. No, I'm the control one.
Okay.
Non, c'est moi qui contrôle. Okay, so about what you were saying about the body and the infinite being, I remember you made me experiment something à propos du corps et de l'être. Tu m'as fait expérimenter quelque chose une fois when you were facilitating me, quand tu me facilitais, and during classes et durant des classes que tu fais, about being when you were inviting me to expand and expand beyond, and so much beyond. Donc, de m'expanser tellement, tellement, tellement au-delà. And it was for me like losing my body for a moment. Et pour moi, c'était à un moment donné comme perdre mon corps. And I think there was something here that et je sais qu'il y a quelque chose là que tu sais, that you will probably talk about during the class, because there will have a class that will be Conscious Touch. Il y a une classe qui va avoir lieu en ligne, online and in Bordeaux, en ligne à Bordeaux, qui sera sur ce sujet, sur Conscious Touch, le toucher conscient. And you'll have a class coming online also in 5th of March, le 5 mars, and other classes online in few weeks in March.
Well,
so
let me talk to the couple three. This opened up like a lot of different things that we need to talk about. One is about how significance creates your priorities in life, right? You probably want to know what your priorities are and take a second look at them and include your body and your being in it. And then Steve was speaking to the energy of, when you start acknowledging these parts of you as a being and you as a body, and you really relax and expand outwards, all of a sudden, as Steve said, you don't feel your body. And there's an element to that because you start to not make your body significant anymore. But it's really not, you're not feeling it anymore. You're going to receive your body in a different way. And we go in depth in that on Conscious Touch. And what was the third item beyond that? Maybe we already covered it. Yeah. So take a look at your priorities. And if you really want to go in deep, what we could get on the Rewrite Your Future Zoom, because we're going to take a look at everything where you're using to create your future, to write your future into stone, which is, if you're writing it into stone, you're going to have a pretty stony future. There's nothing else that's possible, and it's not going to be quite as fun as you'd hope. Because truly, what is possible if you're willing to step way out of the box? Stop making feelings and emotions and thoughts important. Expand into the being of you. Be with your priorities. Take a look at them from an energetic standpoint instead of a decision and conclusion standpoint. There's a different reality that can open up for you. It creates the ease, the joy, the glory, and all that fun stuff that nobody wants.
Okay, thank you, Matt, for being with us, and for everybody in English and in French. Merci tout le monde qui est là, en anglais et en français. And they will have replays for people asking. Il y aura les replays pour les personnes qui le demandent. So see you very soon online. On se voit très bientôt en ligne. And what else is possible? Thank you, Matt.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. How much better does it get than this? Bye.